What everyday skill becomes suspicious if you're too good at it? Weighing small quantities and knowing convenient reference weights. Egg the weights of currency. Identifying off-white powders. Being able to tell who is in the bathroom with you at work. Recognizing people's smells can get kind of weird when you're good at it. When I was 10, 11 in school, if someone left a jumper on the playground and it didn't have a name in it, I would just smell it and give it back to whoever owned it. Once I grew up a bit more, I realized it was weird to smell people's clothes, so I stopped. But I can still recognize someone's possessions just by their smell. You must have a crazy good sense of smell. Mine's pathetic. I doubt I could even pick up my GF's or family's smell on their clothes, let alone schoolyard kids. Hiding. Very useful in an office environment. Being efficient at work. Finish too quickly and rest a minute. Lazy. Or finish too quickly and set a new precedent for how much you're expected to get done in a day. Learned that the hard way from my last job. I created macros and it so I could have some downtime. They filled my downtime with an entire other person's job. Like I'm trying to be efficient cause I'm freaking lazy. Why did they have to ruin everything? Yo, straight up, I asked this question and never got an answer. If I create a script that condenses 8 hours of repetitive manual work into 1 hour of runtime, does running it count as 8 hours of work or 0? 0. That's what the controversy about robots taking people's jobs is. Every place I've worked I always memorize each and every person. Names, physical features, and vehicle. Usually in case of an emergency, because you never know. It takes time, but you learn a lot. Hey White. Guessing passwords. It's kinda sad the amount of people whose passwords are password 123, etc. User, admin. Password, admin. User, Buffalo Wild Wings. Password, Buffalo Wild Wings. User, password, Hunter 2. Getting stains out of carpet. Creepiness inversely proportionate to number of kids you have. Knowing who someone is by the sound of their steps. You should always be able to tell which family member is coming upstairs by their footsteps. Yeah, I learned how to differentiate my father's footsteps from everyone else's so I could pretend I was asleep. Emo, get my jumper cables. Remembering things people tell you. I hate this one cause I'll remember things about people that they forgot they even told me. Leaves me looking like a creeper every time. Yes, it's almost always easier to just pretend like you heard it for the first time. Now double down. Start to tell it back to them with their cadence. Then when they realize what you're doing, just stare at them. If you're like me, you can remember weird obscure facts about them, but not their name. Memorizing names, phone numbers, favorite colors, credit card numbers, people's daily routines, usual whereabouts, what they had to eat last night, how many times they went to the restroom, how many times they walked past your tree, etc. Sounds perfectly sensible to me. Any motherfucker walks past my tree more than once, you can be damn sure I'm keeping count. There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, walk by my tree once, shame on you. Walk by my tree twice, you won't walk by my tree again. My boss was setting up my time tracking account and it didn't work. He had to try to log in within. I told him the shortcut to open an incognito window in Chrome, Ctrl+Shift+N. But thinking about it, the shortcut is much more useful to a developer who has to test logins or unauthorized access occasionally than to your average masturbator. I also think if you are just searching stuff, incognito is brilliant. Stops your URL search bar being filled with crap because you wanted to know how far the moon was or what time a match is on. In the US, being really good at your ounces to grams conversions. Milking a cow if you're not a dairy farmer. Actually a skill I'll look for in a woman. But does she have plow experience? Some time ago we dropped my girlfriend's parents home after dinner to find that they had locked themselves out of their house. Her dad was going to break a window, but it was raining and cold so he was a little reluctant. My girlfriend had a grooming kit in her handbag. hair clips, tweezers, and so on. Me, being a bottle of wine, thought I'd try picking a lock. For the first time ever, but I'd seen it in video games, so how hard could it be? It turns out that it was ridiculously easy and I had them inside their house within 30 seconds of getting started. I was jiggling something around and all of a sudden the lock popped open. They haven't looked at me the same way since. If you said it was your first time, I would have probably replaced that lock the next day. That was my first thought, too, but I've tried again on the same lock when sober and gave up after 10 minutes. They haven't replaced the lock. Drunk you is a master criminal. Drunk locksmith idiot savant would be a great character in an ensemble heist movie. Hans, we're running out of time. What are you talking about? The alarm won't trip for another hour. I know, but we ran out of scotch and... Oh no. He's starting to sober up. Dramatic heist music plays. That minigame in Mario Party 8 where you have to shake the soda can fastest to make your soda shoot up the highest. Just shows you're experienced with a shake weight. Whereas being proficient in the shake weight makes it look like. It just shows that you're proficient with blender bottles. And proficiency with blender bottles shows that. It just shows that you know how to give a pretty hand job. Hey, I will have you know my hand jobs are marginally mediocre. Thank you very much. Walking with minimal sound. Apparently I do this. It's not even deliberate. I just don't like making noise, I guess. I worry I will give my mum a heart attack one day. I did this deliberately when I was younger, but now it just comes natural. My mum complains about it sometimes, because she likes being aware of her surroundings. Maybe almost 2 centuries ago Disraeli was involved in a game of billiards and said to his very good opponent, "Sir, your prowess at this game bespeaks a wasted youth." Damn, it's the old get a life freaking nerd. I think it's more about how pool, billiards were, and to an extent are, working class sports in the UK, being often played in pubs. So it's probably more like you spent way too much time in pubs, you ex-drunkard. Could be wrong. Disraeli was a Tory. He wasn't calling the guy a drunkard. He was calling him a pool. Almost caught myself out once. Had just turned 18. Was a smoker. Asked to bum a cigarette from a family member and they sarcastically tossed me a pouch and said sure if you can make one. 30 seconds later I tossed the pouch back to them and lit up my cigarette. They asked you roll your own cigs? I said no. Oops. I don't know if this is an everyday skill, but I'm still gonna comment. I was a bartender for years and years. I used to memorize what people drank. Like to the point of creepy. Example. Someone could come in one time then stop in 6 mo later and I would remember what they drank. I got called out on it a few times. One guy's in particular found it so strange. He came in, had a vodka gimlet and left. About 3 mo later came back in, and I looked at him and said vodka gimlet, and he told me that was kinda weird. I remembered that. I tried to explain that it didn't make him special or anything. Tried explaining I couldn't remember names or even what we talked about, but I almost always remembered a customer's go-to drink. He totally thought I was full of it and had a crush on him or was creepy. It always hurt my feelings when people acted put off by it, because I thought it was pretty frickin' cool of me. I would be impressed if I was on the other side of that bar. Whatever I should have said, I always remember the drinks I poison, but that would have cost me my job and maybe landed me on probation. Sorry for the frickin' novel. Okay, I'm done. You'd be my favorite bartender in the world. I don't go out enough to have a regular spot or get recognized places. Yet always wanted to stupid movie go-to of just getting the usual. If I only saw you once every few months and could still get the right drink off the usual, I'd make my bloody night. The usual sounds fun until every bartender in town has an idea of what your usual is and they look so damn pleased when they just serve it up to you before you've even sat down. And freaking damn it, Haley, I was in the mood for a margarita today. But yeah, G&T is totally my normal drink. Thanks so much, you're the best. I usually muster the courage to order what I really want by the 3rd drink or so, which is tough, because at lunch I really only planned on having the one, but here we are. Bonding with kids. Why is my kid seemingly fascinated with Rondo in the checkout lane? It's cause I work with kids and apparently give off a vibe about it, I guess. I don't know. I'm just trying to buy my groceries, not get weird looks from parents. This happens to me. Growing up with two cousins 10 and 14 years younger than me made me very good with handling kids. Apparently I give off a fatherly vibe or something. Kids love me. It is weird as hell and makes me uncomfortable. Moreover, this affection I have with kids cock-blocked my first kiss with my girlfriend. We were at a park. As I leaned in, a little bugger came to play with us. He seemed around 4. My girlfriend, who loves kids, she's super maternal, goes in and starts playing instead of kissing me. The kid wanted to play with me instead. Worst part is, he was speaking Dutch. I don't speak Dutch. I didn't understand it of what he said to me. I'm take you bitch motherfucker. Minus 4-year-old kid speaking Dutch. Lockpicking. It's slightly suspicious anyway, but much more so if you are really good. You can pass off a casual interest far better. Or simply being able to stick an old credit card into a door wedge to open basic ass doors. Helped an ex get into her apartment this way with minimal effort. Trust wasn't an issue, so there was no concern for her. I demanded she yell at her landlord for being a lazy pose. You'd be surprised what doors you can open with an old Steak and Shake gift card. Use a deadbolt, people.